Hey there everybody, it's Mike Delisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. Today we're going to be taking a look at Her Story, Iconic Women of History. This is coming from Underdog Games, 2 to 5 players, 30 to 60 minutes. So Underdog Games is a publisher that I'm familiar with through their trekking series of games, trekking the national parks, trekking the world, trekking through history, and now we've got a game in a completely different line about discovering the incredible women of history in this family-friendly strategy game. In Her Story, you're an acclaimed author writing a book to tell the stories of remarkable women in history. Along the way, you'll uncover special advantages and powers, all while learning about these iconic women. And so as a former high school history teacher of almost 20 years, I'm very, very excited about this theme. I am always interested to see games with a historical kind of element to it, and this is one that is particularly underrepresented in a lot of media, so very cool. All right, here we go. We've got some, I think these are non-game related. I'm not positive. Looks like, yeah, we've got some bookmarks that I've dropped, unfortunately. So not necessarily game related, but very, very cool. So bookmarks here. Looks like maybe some stickers and some art prints. That's very cool. All right, let's check out the rest of the material here. First, we've got our rule book. So let's take a look at that. Here's our illustrated setup for the game. And here we go for the actual rules. Taking a turn is played in rounds. Each player takes one round, going clockwise. On your turn, you must take one of the following actions. Either research, draft a chapter, or complete a chapter. And it goes into more detail about each of these: researching, drafting a chapter, and completing a chapter. It has a bonus for exactness. And then it says there are some chapter card powers, either symbol powers or text powers that might apply. And then once a player has completed their 8th chapter, finish the current round, so everyone has the same number of turns. And then you add to your score any endgame points earned from endgame powers, most victory points complete. And then it says, finally, collect your chapters together, turn them over, and put your player aid face down on top. You now hold in your hands your finished book. And they say that choose one of your favorite chapters from the book to read aloud so all players can learn about these iconic women of history. So in this case, maybe they chose Hedy Lamarr, actor and inventor. So that's very cool, nice little thematic integration. Not something that is necessarily mechanically necessary for the game, but certainly gets into the theme. All right, and this is very cool too. You have a story behind the game, some student researchers, some educator advisors as well. All right, this looks to be the player boards. All right, in the different player colors. These are double-sided, nice thick cardboard there in the different player colors. All right, we have got a pretty impressive drawstring bag here. This material is almost like I'm not even sure what to call it. It's not vinyl. It's, well, maybe it is kind of a vinyl, but screen printed, and all of the very, very thick tiles are already pre-printed or pre-punched. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. So you got a bag full of these tiles that are already pre-punched. Bravo, that I love. And we've got some big pushpin pawns in the player colors. All right. Because it looks like the player mat is kind of set up as a, what would you call it? Like a cork board that you would put the push pins in. Speaking of, let's take a look at that neoprene player mat. It is stitched on the outside, on the edges, which is always very nice. And so this is basically where you're going to be putting your card market, where you're going to be tracking the scores, having those tiles that I showed you in the bag. And then it rolls on up, and it fits nicely into the custom plastic insert. 2 decks of large sized cards showing off that art, which to me, at least from this cursory glance and from what I've seen in the rule book, is quite impressive. All right. And so it looks like all of these cards have on the back the story of these iconic women in history, which is very, very cool. And this art is fantastic. All right. And as I'm flipping through these cards, I'm just kind of thinking back to the time of teaching in class about many of these women. And so, very cool. You see some of these have icons on the bottom. Some of them have powers. There's a lot of these cards. And again, very, very nice. And, obviously art is going to be a matter of opinion, but in my opinion, this art is very, very impressive. Let's take a look at this second deck of cards, because it will not only have more of the chapter cards, but we should have the player aid cards and the library cards, I think they called them. You can see there's no shortage of chapter cards here. All right, here's the player aid cards. In the back, that would be like the front of your book. And then we've got our library cards. Flip to clear and refresh all research tokens. You flip it over, and then you discard it, so you can do that twice in a game. All right, well, it's a lovely production, as all of the games from Underdog Games have been so far. And again, a very, very unique theme, and one that I'm looking forward to checking out. That is Her Story. Thanks for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.